Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Growing Clip Bonsai for Seniors. Yeah, I'm a mess. I've been working in the yard, working outside. I've been going like crazy. I think I'm going to take a break after this. Today is July 17th of 2025. It's Wednesday. It's 84 degrees Fahrenheit or 29 degrees Celsius. Fuzzy ball growth. The name was nailed down. It is a sycamore, a plant Platanus occidentalis. And I went to the half-price bookstore. I picked up this book so I can work outside and look at trees. And I don't know if you can see the leaves. See how the leaves look? Well, there you have it. That's the sycamore. That's the leaf of the sycamore. And the London plane tree is different. And then it gives you the reference page of 456 and it tells you all about it. So, that's about, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a good little book. It wasn't bad on the price. I forgot how much I paid for it. $11.99. With tax, it was $13.22, but great book. So now I can walk outside and try to identify the trees that I have out there without taking my big tree book from Michael Deere. And that one I'm still reading because there's a lot of info in there. Now in this I planted the fuzzy ball seeds. And I did this on 3/9 of 2025. And I also tried to plant some crabapple seeds. Also on 3/9 of 2025. But nothing came up. So right now we have to take this out and replant it, and I got a mix. I'm going to clip it. Oops. Well, we're going to use this anyway. We're going to clip and repot it. The soil I'm going to use is 2 parts cocoa core and 1 part number 2 cherry red chicken grit. And I'll show you how that looks. Just like that. And the sycamore loves flood banks and wet soil bed streams, so they like their roots wet. That's why I made this type of a soil. Let's hope I got enough. So the first thing we're going to do is let's take some of these big leaves off. We're just going to defoliate it up to the stem part. So this way here we can see, and it's still young in the season yet. We still got a half a year's growth yet. So all I'm going to do is defoliate it a little bit, not a lot, but you can see the leaf. It is definitely a sycamore. I'll take this one, I'm just going to cut that in half. We're going to give it some green. And that's all you got to do. Just clip it there. And we're going to give it a good soil. And we're also going to put in some, if I don't forget, cut that back to there. The reason why I'm cutting some of them like that, a third of the way back, is this way here, it still gives it food before it grows new leaves. And that's all we do. I'm going to say, Tom, these trees got big leaves. You need it in a big pot. No, I don't want it in a big pot. I got to have something I can handle and put away for the winter time. So, you can see how big they are. Let me just get rid of this leaf. And I think these little ones should be all right. So, the leaves we'll put on the side. I have to save the tag so I know how old they are. Get all this out of the way. And I thank Dave. He's one of my commenters about suggesting the chicken grit, because sometimes I can't get Ted's mix, but I'm trying to save Ted's mix because we're going to do a big repot, a 2-parter of Hilda, my big trumpet flower. She's old and a half. I have to look up the date on her. how old she is. And we'll do that because I got to save Ted's mix to go in there. And I also got a lot of perlite to make it easier for me to handle. So right now, it's a little hard getting it out. So what I'm going to do is put the pot here. And let's put this down a little more so you can see what the heck I'm doing. Fill this up so we can do some underwater root raking. Because I soaked this real good to get any bugs out of it. And we're just going to use this root rake to get in there. I'm going to have to use this one also because these are really stuck together. But that's all right. We're not going to disturb the roots too much because it's late, it's in the mid-season. And all I want to do is give them some fresh soil. And if I can divide them a little bit, that'll be nice. So all we're doing is just jiggle, jiggle, jiggle in the water. And the water helps to loosen up the soil real good. And I think the screen is stuck on there. You can see that. So we're going to take all the soil out of the way. Take the screen out of the way. Put that there, put that there. Man, I didn't want to ruin the wood on here. Man, this from Bobcat Bonsai. He does some good work. I mean, some real good work. And he makes his tools. So go to Bobcat Bonsai if you want some tools. And don't forget to go to the Bonsai Expo, Dave's Bonsai. It's going to have a big expo July 26th. That's a Saturday from 9 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. He's going to have a lot of people on there. Gotta get all this chicken grit and sand out of the way because I gotta put the old soil in. And no, I still haven't. Well, you can see the mess I got, so you know I haven't had time to do charge up the microphone. I should. So let's see. Get some of my unmilled sphagnum moss for the bottom of the pot instead of the screen. And then later on, I'll get some of the moss that's growing good, and I'll put it around here later. I didn't bring it in, because you know me, I have to do it while I'm still thinking. If I don't do the video, if I try to do the video and think about it, it comes out goofy. So I have to do it, and well, Dave from Dave Bonsai said, do you prepare for your videos? And I says, no, Dave, that's by the seat of my pants. Because when a thought comes to my head, I have to do it. And if you see Babe, the shorty with the moss, I thank Cherry Chi, C-H-I, for all her good videos on moss. So I did that one. So check out Babe on one of my shorties. And you can see how nice she looks sleeping in the moss. So let's get some of this out. Put it in. I have a house, but it might be too big for the forest. So get my fork, measure it around, and you can see how nice the soil looks with the chicken grit in there. It's going to be a nice draining forest soil. I was going to say forest floor. That's also going to hold in moisture for the sycamore. The 5, because that's all the seeds that come up. And then I'm going to take a pinch. My Dr. Earth, put that in there. That's a 463 organic fertilizer. And that's good for helping the roots grow and stuff. It also is good for flowering plants. But for now, that's what I have. And then let's see how this is going to sit. So I'm just going to put a little bit of soil on the top. And we're just going to spread the roots out, but we can cut them back just a little bit, I think. I sharpen my root scissors. Now we can put this side of the forest here. And then you can see how big these root system is. Cut it here. You know, if it was spring or fall, I could do it. You can see these two are together, but that's all right. I'm going to put these in here like this. Put that over here like that. Wet my hands. Use that and my pants. And we're going to get this in a little bit. Now, before we go any further, remember I got the azus still here. A little bit on the roots. And don't forget that Dr. Earth has also beneficial bacteria in there. So if you can get yourself a little field book when you go out looking for trees and you don't know what it is, you think you know what it is, but it might not be what you think it is. Get your little book, your field guide to trees, where they show the leaves and the trunk, and it also gives you the diameter of the trunk as it grows. Now Michael Deere's book, he says it's not a good tree. The sycamore is not a good tree for a street tree. And I think I know why, because of the type of soil that it needs. But there is a sycamore planted by the school, a block and a half away from me. Well, it's really 2 blocks if you go to it. And I think that's a hybrid because it's got a patent number on there. So it's probably good for the street. So exactly what it is, I have no idea. Now, if you got arthritis, just use a rock. Just go like that to get in your soil into the ground. And then, where's my chopstick? My chopstick disappeared itself. We're just going to take out any air pockets in the roots. We're just going to let these grow for the rest of the year. Now, I'm not expecting a lot of growth because when you do a root pruning and you're doing it late in the year like landscapers do, you can tell that when they put in a tree in a house, by a house or something, or in the yard, people are saying, well, how come it's not growing? It is growing. It's the roots that are growing. So that's what you need to grow first, because it has to stabilize the tree into the soil, and it has to... once it does that, the feeder roots start taking off. Now, why do I use Azus and Mikus? And I also use this brand right here. This is called Wild Root Organic Mycorrhiza. Now, this you add to water. And if you have your trees planted already, you water it in. Now, what does mycorrhiza do? That is, you know, like a lot of plants and roots cannot pull phosphorus out of the soil. They cannot. So, the mycorrhiza, what they do is they pull out that nutrient out of the soil for the plant to use it. Because it's locked in, and the mycorrhiza do that. And when the mycorrhiza feed the tree, then the tree feeds the mycorrhiza back with the nutrients that it needs. I'm going to take Mr. Elephant. Mr. Elephant says hello to all the kitties. And Anaï, Mr. Elephant says hello. And he knows that Anaï got one of Mr. Elephant from me, because Anaï lives in our neighborhood, and she was enjoying Mr. Elephant, so I got her a Mr. Elephant to use in the garden, so she's enjoying that. Okay, so now what are we going to do? Now, I do have a house, but it might be a little bit big for this. Let me see. Pants, that's why I got made pants. Now, this I got at the Dollar Tree. for $1.25. No longer called a Dollar Tree. It's called a Dollar Tree, but it will be too big to be in the forest. So, what did Tom do? Got me another little chicken. And I put the little chickie in there, sitting down, relaxing in the forest. So, sometimes chickens like to rub in the forest and get all the bugs off of them. Or just sit there and lay down. So what I got now is a 50-50 mix of the organic seed start. No, this is not the seed starter mix. This is the Cocoa Core, the #1 chicken grit cherry red, and a 1/4 cup of coarse sand in there. So all we're going to do is get Mr. Spoon. Where are you? And yes, Mr. Clock has still got to be... Well, I got to clean this mess before I start Mr. Clock. Because I know next week is the 4th week, and that's the Children's Corner. So be prepared, if you can, to watch the Children's Corner. I'm going to try to find something easy for the kids to do. And then I will show you an update on the pot that I did. And also, we'll see how Babe is doing. I'll bring that out on the Children's Corner so you can see how it's growing. There we go. And Andrew, you know what? Those river birch cuttings you gave me, they did not root. I don't know why. I think it was too early in the season, because now when I try, you know, my poinsettia cuttings are all rooting. So I'm going to have pots and do some good cuttings, good repots on them. And then but first of all, we're going to tackle Hilda. She needs to be repotted. So there's your little forest with the chicken in there. So let's clean this up a little bit. See with this mix, you can see how it looks. It gives the forest floor a nice little natural look. Now, you can put moss on this because it's an outdoor tree, and I'll get some moss later and put it on, but right now I didn't have a chance. Let's stack this all up and watch it all fall down. Let's stack it up and watch it all fall down later. So, let's get Mr. Spray Bottle here. I got this one from Ace. It's a good little spray bottle. It dropped on me a couple of times. That's why I got the rubber band on her. Yeah, it's going to be a hot one today, but it's supposed to rain tonight, or this afternoon. I don't know when. At least that's what the computer says, but they say rain and then it doesn't rain. So nothing we can do about that. So what we're going to do is hold this, dump some of the water out, and then we'll water it in a little bit more, take all the air pockets out. There we go. Wash off the chicken. She's sitting in the forest laying eggs. Ready to hatch her little brood. There we go. That's our little mama hen. So we'll refill out the tag and everything, and we'll go from there. And there you go. That's our sycamore. Little drastic cutting. You're gonna say, Tom, how come you didn't prune them off? Well, I can, but right now I want them to grow strong. In the fall, when they go to sleep, I can prune it. And if I can do it later on, I'll get some moss and put some patches in there later. But right now it's going to stay in the basement because it's too hot to be put outside. And then in the evening, I'll put it out so it can relax. And you can use an old steak fork to help you with the roots, especially underwater. Or you can use Matt's root rake, which I find is very, very good. And I like the wooden handle. It's good for people with arthritis, so it's got a good grip. I don't like the steel ones, especially in the wintertime, because they're cold on your fingers. So, but other people like steel, so it's your prerogative. Matt makes both of them. So go to Bobcat Bonsai and check out his prices. So there you go. So today is Wednesday. It's potluck night. Whatever you want to watch, put on a good detective show, a comedy show, whatever you like, a good old-time movie from the 40s and 50s. Good, they got some good detective ones too. So you take care, everybody. Have a good day. And when it's hot, glass of lemonade, carrot juice is the best. Cool water, especially when you work outside, stay hydrated. So you take care, have a good day, and if you want to have a cup of tea, it's not going to hurt. Take care, everybody.